tried it, and LeBron and the team did not. And the problem is, we did what we were supposed to do. That's been historic. We didn't build a team and get the right coach that could have gave us that dynasty run. You know, we that is the blueprint. We get a free agent. That's the top of the list. Let's go. We did not get the coach to support it. We didn't have the management team of Jerry West. All that institutional knowledge that takes care of a Rob Pelinka who's still trying to learn on the fly. That overwrites or the Jeannie Buss's bad decisions and Rambuses. That someone that had credibility and a voice in the front office say, no, we're not. And that kind of thing. So
I hope you're recording, Steve, because this is some good content right here.
I am recording. I just hit record. But seriously, I think the Lakers should just blow it up. Get rid of LeBron. Get rid of AD. Get a young coach. Get a young core nucleus, and just rebuild.
So Steve, you make sense. The Lakers don't do this. Vic just ran through the model.
Oh, I know.
The blueprint. The Laker blueprint is to go get that free agent, build around that free agent, that superstar, and it failed. And so it's not going to happen. What you're describing and makes sense of, and it won't happen in Lakerland because the Jerry Buss model is not that way.
Problem is this:
They're not.
If you don't do it,
like Danny Ainge and the Celtics.
If you don't do it in today's climate, where I can get endorsement dollars without being in LA, you're gonna die. Look at Minnesota right now. You got Minnesota, San Antonio. Small markets can now compete.
OKC.
Memphis, OKC. Like y'all are looking at right now, the Lakers are looking at a 10-year window before they're back on top.
Maybe.
Y'all are looking at pre-Shaq.
Depends on free agency. It depends on free agency.
But where free agent gonna come? As long as you got LeBron, no free agents are coming. They've shown that. They don't want to play with him. Nobody does.
Let's. You might be right. You might be right. Let's see what happens this year, because that 10-year window, I said that before the bubble. We won, and the clock has restarted. So we're probably about a 5-year window, honestly, because of the bad moves, bad coaching, bad hires, roster turnover that we've had. We're probably at 5 years, not 10. And because of free agency, you can make that up in 2 years.
If AD isn't signed to Clutch Sports, you don't get AD. And that's the only big free agent they've been able to get since LeBron's been there. Nobody wants to play with him.
It's salary cap also. It's money. Because the next person would be a third wheel, and they didn't have the money. They did not have the money.
No. They could have signed Kawhi. They could have signed PG.
That would have been sunken money.
They could have signed all those dudes and got a third player. They had the money. Nobody wants to play with that dude.
They signed Vanderbilt last year. They signed AR-15. They signed D'Lo, and I'm like, oh hell.
But look at D'Lo.
We don't have the money.
D'Lo is your third star's money.
Yes.
So before they got D'Lo, they could have got a third star. Nobody wanted to play with that dude. He sucks the air out of a room for another star.
Yeah. And he needs another star more than anybody else right now.
Who you telling? He need to go to State. They need to trade him to Golden State and get what they can. Get them young players off of Golden State.
Did you hit record yet?
I have hit record.
Good. You're on the show then. Introduce yourself, because people want to know.
No, I'm telling you, they are in for trouble. It's bad. It's really, really bad for them. Nobody wants to play with LeBron, man. KD didn't.
I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover. You have been listening to Steve Howard, our producer for the last 5 minutes. He doesn't come on, y'all. I hope he doesn't edit it out. But listen to him, and he's making a whole lot of sense, and we're talking about the Lakers. You've been listening right now. We have been talking about the Lakers. It's the wisest thing, probably the smartest thing to do is to blow it up, but it ain't going to happen. We're talking about coaching. Who's the best coach out there? We don't know. Phil Jackson is not walking through that door. Rick Pitino is not walking through that door. Coach Bud, what? Popovich, Spoelstra, we need a coach. Somebody, Ty Lue, we need a coach. Somebody that's going to sit LeBron down. Steve Howard was talking about blow it up. Vic, what say you?
Yeah, hey, Dr. C. Victor Herman III, we taken to the house. It's already started, team. We who wanted to talk about this on air? We just couldn't help ourselves. Yes, we're watching some dominant ball happening where the Nuggets getting their head smashed. And right now I'm happy about that because they smashed us the last 2 years. However, I couldn't help myself but ask the question. Because we're in this situation, looking up at these young teams that look like they're about to run the whole Western Conference between OKC, Minnesota. Hey, guess what? Wemby will probably get San Antonio Spurs reloaded before the Lakers can. What do we need to do now that this project failed? Project LeBron AD failed. And so, yes, we're trying to solve the world's problem. Is it Pelinka? Is it Genie? Is it the Laker roster? But all we know is that since we won the championship in 2020, we've got two coaches. 2020 was only 4 years ago. Two coaches. Come on, man. We're better than that. But are we really? Was it Genie Bus? Was it her brother Jimmy? Because we were riding him a couple years ago. The same issue is still here. We got a talented roster, and we're underperforming. Is that Ham's problem? He walked into that mess, and they want him to clean up their mess? Was it Vogel's problem? As Unc said, Phil Jackson ain't walking through that door, and neither is Pat Riley, because look what he's done since he left the land of La La. He's holding it down. And my boy Pat Riley says, I hold it down so well. Look at me, Jeannie. My franchise player, I'm going to call him out in the media. And he better hope he's on my team next year. That's the type of ownership we need. That's the type of accountability. Because while LeBron left Miami, Spoelstra's still there. Pat Riley's still there. And they have a culture that's still in place. The Lakers have lost their identity. At the end of the day, they lost their identity. And like a glutton for punishment, I still watch them damn jokers.
I don't believe it was Ham's fault. I hate a brother to lose his job. I understand the machine of the Lakers. I understand it. It just sucks that Ham was the fall guy. I don't think he deserves, as a 2-year coach, I don't believe he deserved what he got. You talked about a failed experiment. Man, we got to put it on AD, man. We got to put it on LeBron because you are the leaders and you ended up as an 8th seed. You are the ones that led your team to run up against that buzzsaw in the first round, which you knew better could, and you had a lot to do with that. Just your effort and your play, playing smart. So Coach Ham, yeah, he could have subbed out a couple of times. He could have schemed up a couple of things, but effort, he couldn't bring it out of you. LeBron, 20 years in the league, AD, you're supposed to be the leaders of megastars. You are to be the leaders on the court and off the court. You are should support your coach. What was wrong with Ham? You tell me, Bron, AD, what was wrong with Ham? There was nothing wrong with them last year when you guys went to the Western Conference Finals. There was nothing wrong with them then, and that was first year. Then you win the in-season tournament. What was wrong with Ham then? Oh, wait a minute. You guys balled out when it counted? Come on, Bron. Y'all balled out and won the first in-season tournament, and you got everybody's hopes up. You showed us what you could do. And then you laid a freaking egg the second half of the season, after the All-Star break or even after the in-season tournament. Y'all did that, Bron. And on this show, just a few short weeks ago, I said we need to move on from him. My producer said it. My co-host was saying, what do we do without? No, I said we need to find a way to move off of Bron. This might be the time. I don't know. But if we don't, Bron, I need you to step up. Rob, I need you to step up. Jeannie, I need y'all to step up. Put something together. Stabilize the core. Stabilize the team. Stop doing the team turnover, the coach turnover, and build something that is a culture. My co-host was talking about the Miami Heat. We know what the Spurs do. We know what the Celtics are doing. You know organizational structure in those areas. And then you got Minnesota coming up. You got OKC coming up. You got people like Orlando coming up out of nowhere. They have no respect for the old heads, Golden State, Lakers. They don't care about what you got skins on the wall. They don't care. Ant-Man is coming for you, and he'll put nuts on chin if he could. So Lakerland, get it together.
But I have to ask, I totally agree with your rant, but I got to ask. AD played 76 out of 82 games this year. LeBron, almost 40 years old, balled out. What they're supposed to do if Reeves, Rui, Gabe Vincent, they're not scoring the shot? Like, what else? I agree. Ham should not take the full blame. But even between LeBron and AD as the leaders, what was they supposed to do to make sure that the other role players didn't perform? Like how?
So I saw 99% of their games. Every game changes. There's shifts in the game. There's times when they're going for three-pointers. Why? Why, LeBron? When you're the biggest guy out there, AD, nobody could beat you. Nobody could stop you. Even Joker, as big as he is, Rudy Gobert, he's slow at foot. Go around these people. Go get into the paint. What Shaquille O'Neal showed me is you get the other team in foul trouble, it makes it easier for the role players. So that's what I want from my leaders. LeBron, you're 6'7", 6'8", you're 250 pounds. Take it to the hole, get fouled, make it easier so D'Lo can get to the lane. When he gets his touch foul, he gets the layups, and that now frees up everybody else. When Shaq was getting fouled, getting the other team in foul trouble, it broke down the game. So LeBron had his best season as a three-point percentage. His best season ever. Matter of fact, he shot better than Curry this year in three-point. But we got too happy with it. So in each game, it varies. There's ebbs and flow. And if you're not knocking down the three, if you see nobody else is knocking them down, man, how about taking it to the hole? So, Vic, to answer your question, too many times our guys were shooting the three. And if Bron could shoot them, why not D'Lo? And he wasn't making all his. Why not Austin Reeves? He wasn't making all his. Why not anybody that come off the bench? Which is asinine to me when you're so gifted in the post. So gifted in the post. And if you know anything about Michael Jordan, you know what? Later on in the years, he went to the post. Kobe, what did he do? He went to the post, drop step, fade, and they could hang, and they were getting to the line. Why not you, LeBron? So as leaders, Ham, he's not putting the ball in the hole. He is to tell these guys, stop shooting the three. He's to tell these guys, there's not a shot blocker in there. I don't care who he is, Rudy Gobert or whoever. Take it to the hole. There were too many times we were stagnant and we would not move the ball and we'd go to ISO ball and it ain't going to work. It just ain't going to work. And so we didn't do well from playing from behind. Why? Because we're shooting so many threes. We're not staying in the game, and we couldn't catch up. Keep the lead, go to the hole, put the pressure on the other team, put the pressure on the rest. That's what LeBron and AD can do going forward. If they don't break up the team, we need to adjust our game plan in the game, and that's what Ham needs to do too. In-game adjustments, our players, coaches, everybody in sync together, make better adjustments as the game goes.
And unfortunately, what you just shared is a coaching and discipline, because Be you. Be you. Who are we? Big man, feed him in the post. Again, that has been our freaking MO. Kobe and Shaq had issues because Kobe wanted to deviate. Yes, it wound up working for us, but feed Shaq the rock and he'll do what he got to do. That's 3 more championships we could have had. Magic, feed Kareem the rock and we'll do what we got to do. You're going to get yours. And if we stay true to our identity, there's no reason. We don't need to shoot all these threes to compete because guess what? 3-point shooters, not everybody's gonna be Steph Curry. And we're not a 3-point shooting team. Get the person who can do that. But like you said, LeBron and AD feed the post. We look great in the playoffs. How do you lose these big deficits? Because why are we playing for 3 points when we got a big lead?
Right.
Pass it to the center, and LeBron became very aggressive the last game, hitting going into the paint. So I agree, but that's the part where that is the ding on him. What is your game plan? Or is the team discipline to say we feed the post? We get 3 points the old-fashioned way. You'll foul us. We're going to feed AD. He's got 76 games. He didn't get hurt, thank goodness. Hey, LeBron, no one wants to get in front of you and draw that charge. Do what you got to do. Let Rudy do what they got to do on the outside. Austin Reeves has no trouble playing in the paint. And the challenge that happens because being a basketball fan now is that our team is out. So now you can watch these other teams like Minnesota and say, damn, they got a 2-headed snake, Ant-Man and Cat. And they do the thing. And those role players do what they got to do. But Ant-Man is attacking that rock, attacking that hole. Cat is attacking the hole. And it's almost that old school ball where, we'll kill you for the 3-pointers. But our main target is get to the rack. And to watch that clinic last night, have you ever, come transition from the Lakers, have you ever seen Denver that discombobulated where you got Jamal Murray throwing items on a doggone court in frustration? And guess what? Joker still got his points, but they were hard to come by. That's the kind of stuff what, as an NBA fan, that makes me upset, but also excited. Like, why come our team can't play like this? And I said last night in our thread, we weren't ready for that kind of ball. Yes, if we would have beat which we had a chance to beat Denver, I still swear we had a chance to beat Denver last year and this year. What Minnesota has right now, that's a championship caliber team. We weren't ready for that kind of smoke. And I love that energy that Minnesota's bringing.
In the bubble, when we played Denver, we had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, and we could play Joker man up. Look at what Minnesota's doing. They don't have to double Joker. He's going to get 30 points. He's going to get 12 to 15 rebounds. And guess what? Watch those assists go down because everybody else now is guarded. He kick it out to KCP. KCP is not wide open. Or Porter is not wide open. He can't throw the lob. And throw the lob, heck, you saw Gobert knock the lob away. The key, the code has been broken. You play him one-on-one. You got to play him man up. That's the key. And then, that singularly is not going to do it. Those wing defenders, you saw them, man. Shift, move, rotate. Shift, move, rotate. Boom, boom, boom. And Jamal Murray, just him trying to dribble off the screen of Jokic. He wasn't getting freed up. They were hitting him. They were putting bodies on him. And the whistle is in the favor of Minnesota because they're not blowing ticky-tack fouls. And Denver they're not ready for it. They haven't been prepared for it. The Lakers weren't the challenge that Minnesota is. Minnesota's quicker. They're more athletic. You talk about Ant-Man. Ant-Man is bringing the ball full court. He'll dunk on you. He'll do the Euro on you. He'll kick it out to the open man because nobody wants to be on a poster, so they're sucking into the lane, and he's kicking it out to making the right play. Then you got Conley, and you talk about Gobert. You're talking about the peripheral guys, Towns, to include Towns. He's not even a star. Towns is not even the star of their team. We talked about a couple weeks ago how Ant-Man is really just kind of taken over. But it's disrespectful. It's not what Denver is doing. It's what Minnesota is doing. Minnesota has played their ass off. And so going forward, anybody need to play against Denver? Look at this. Watch this. Study the tape. Look at what Minnesota is doing. They're not afraid. They have nothing to lose. And because they're playing against the reigning champions, you're getting all the smoke. You're getting all the energy. And you just need, as Denver, you need to slap back. What kind of slap back you got as you go on the road? You lost 2 at home. Oh my, what a series. Call it, bro. Who's going to win this series?
Oh, done deal. The question is, will Denver Nuggets get swept? It's done deal. And what I enjoy is telling people who are just now tuning into the NBA, what you saw last night was nothing novel. That is who Minnesota is. As Steve shared, the small market teams now are getting some high bids. The problem is people don't get to see it. That is the number one defensive team in the freaking league. And they showed it to the whole world last night. Then, we know that the Bostons, the New Yorks, the LAs, they're going to get visibility on TV. Who says I'm going to watch Minnesota Timberwolves? Very rare. Oh, the Minnesota game's on. Oh, the OKC. Unless you're following, you don't know. So to see what they did to the defending champs 2 times. You talked about Gobert on the first night. Last night, Gobert didn't play. Then the boys said, oh, you think we needed him to be the number one defense? Watch this. 20-plus points that they kicked their ass. Come on, man. That was a clinic. That was, again, you got a team coached by Mike Malone who was well-disciplined, losing their wits. I said that Jamal Murray threw something. He threw 2 somethings on that court in frustration. And I love your other point because it reminded me of 90s basketball. I'm a defensive guy. It doesn't matter if it's football or basketball. I love defense. And they let them boys play last night. Play ball. It was aggressive. They may have every play in the NBA is a foul, but they didn't call. The refs did not decide that game last night. They even let the coach get in the ref's face without calling a tech. So let the boys play. So Denver can't rise to that level of physicality. They're prima donnas. And so to watch, it goes back to Steve's point. If we blew up the Lakers, that's a young team with a young coach. And these guys are ready to play and be the best they can be. And you have management support to say, coach, make it happen. This team got kicked out the playoffs last year in the first round. And we are dazzling about Ja Morant and Memphis Grizzlies. Who are they now? Because these two teams between, and guess what? Minnesota's not even a number 1 seed. Minnesota's not even a number 1 seed. There's another team out there that's about to do some damage. So you asked me my call. I call it sweet, bro. I call it sweet. I'm calling a sweep. I'm calling a sweep. Okay. If Denver don't win number 3, I'm calling a sweep. You taking me to my house. I took your lunch in your own place. Come home now. Let's go to the frozen tundra of Minnesota. You thought Gobert missed it because of the birth of a child. I'm calling a sweep. I'm going all radical on
him. I love it. I will tell you, because you mentioned the referees. And when Coach Malone went up to the face, I thought the referee should have teched him right there. So normally that's a tech, maybe a toss, But why did he restrain himself? Why did the referee restrain himself then? But okay, you let that pass. But man, that's embarrassing for the referee. That's embarrassing for the referee any way you look at it. When a coach comes up to and in your face and clearly he's upset and was berating you, man. All the referee did was shout back, and I think he told his player, take your coach back over to the sideline. Take it back over to the sideline. Man, back in the day, he'd have been tossed. Jamal Murray, not cool throwing the heating pad onto the floor. Not cool at all. Matter of fact, I don't like that. I lost a level of respect for you for doing that. Why? Because you could have hurt somebody. I thought about that then. I wish they would have been able to review the tape and saw the culprit, where that came from. That's not from a fan. Clearly not a fan. That's not from a trainer. That's not. No, we need to find out where it came from, because you're jeopardizing the safety of everybody on the court. And so because you got your panties bunched up, because Minnesota is slapping you around like this and said, "Where's my money?" Because they treat you like a two-bag little hoe, you need to take it and man up and come out in game 3 and act like, okay, they got your attention, and play. But don't throw stuff on the floor. Legler on ESPN said, man, somebody could have stepped on it, slipped on it, twisted their ankle, groin pull, and then you can affect the outcome of the series, potentially world championship. No, to get fined 10 grand is not enough. I'm in favor of you being suspended, not being available for your team for game 3, but it didn't happen. That's what I say. But the league saw where, okay, they just fine you, you keep on moving. That's okay. Minnesota fans got something for you. The world has something for you, and the internet never loses. It's one, brother. You need to apologize. That would be cool if you did that and say, I lost it in the moment, because we all know, heck, Vic, we seen how it is playing spoons or at a family reunion. We know how emotional it can be, musical chairs. We know about emotion, but you need to comport yourself a little bit better as a professional.
And it would be great, even if Mike Malone said, you know what, you're going to take the first 5-7 minutes. You're not playing. You're not starting. Something. Yeah, he got fined $100K, but could you imagine Draymond Green did that?
Okay.
Yeah. Could you imagine Draymond Green did that, or any other Rasheed Wallace back in the days? Whether his intention was to throw it at a player, you threw it on the field. You threw it on the court. Even fans who do that get thrown out. So that's where Adam Silver should say from New York, hey, stop the game right now. Because what stops someone from throwing something on the field tonight? What happens if Jalen Brunson's this mad? He said, well, look, I got enough in reserve. Hey, babe, hold 100K in reserve. Tonight, they pissed me off. I'm throwing something out there. The worst they can do is just fine me. Adam Silver should have stopped the game in process. Who is throwing things on the court? He did it. We just saw Pat Beverly doing something. Come on, man. Let's be consistent. This is not the Wild Wild West. This man last week was talking trash after putting daggers in the Lakers' heart. And this week he pouted like a little baby. I agree with you, Unc. I lost respect for that player. He still played ball, but I lost respect for him, man. Because who does that? You're a champion, man. You're a champion. Come on, man. So, yeah, I'm good with that.
That game in the East last night, we're talking about Indianapolis, and we talk about New York. Wow. What Brunson is doing, what Hart is doing for the Knicks, golly. I'm surprised that the Knicks even won the game, because Indiana should have won. They should have won. But unfortunately, you know what a lot of people are talking about today is the referees, the pick that should not have been called, and or the ball that was supposed to be a kickball that hit the hand. Come on, referees. I don't want you to be the show. I don't even want you to be a highlight. You just there to mediate the game. Make sure that nobody has any undue advantages. That's it. And a foul is a foul, is a foul is a foul, a foul is a foul in the first quarter, a foul is a foul in the fourth quarter. I get all that. But come on, man. Come on, man. I should be talking about how Jalen Brunson has scored 40 points in 4 consecutive games, and how he's leading his team, how Josh Hart played the whole game last night. Seemingly is coming up with every doggone rebound. How he's hustling. How Coach Tibbs is coaching these guys up, and they don't really have a bench. That's what we should be talking about. The league should not be the referees ever. And that's what I bring to you. However, I'm done with the referees. I'm not done talking about the referees. That was a great game. It's going to be a great series. I want to know who you think is going to win. I'm going to tell you, I think the Indiana is going to win that game because I feel as though they're faster, they're deeper, they're quicker. That movement and that pace will wear down the Knicks. But it didn't that night. It did not last night. But I'm going to pick Indiana. I'm picking the Pacers in about a 6, maybe 7 game series. Overall, I can't pick the game, but I pick Indiana in that game, in that series. Excuse me.
Definitely a blast of the past. You know, my number 2 team is the New York Knicks, so it's great to see them performing in this rivalry resurgence. It's supposed to be Knicks versus Heat or Knicks and Pacers. That has been and then it used to be Knicks and Bulls. I'm calling Knicks is 7. I believe Brunson, Tibbs, Hart, it's too much. And again, the awesome thing about this, Julius Randle, who this is where leaders show I am that guy. I am him. We talked about it in Minnesota. Ent said, Cat, you don't know what to do with the keys to this Porsche. That's okay. Go get in the co-pilot seat. Go get in the passenger seat. Just look cute and wave. I'm taking this thing. You don't know how to drive this. Same thing. Jalen Brunson said, you know what? Thanks, Dallas, for the time. I'm going to New York. And I'm going to show you, Julius Randle, how to drive this car. Hey, Tibbs, let's roll. What's the route? Oh, Josh Hart? Oh, you want shotgun? Because Julius don't know what he wants to do. Hey, Julius, go get in the back seat. You and I are going to take this Porsche to the next spot. Great display. And, New York needs this. New York needs this. The NBA is a great time when New York is great, Boston is great, and LA, the Lakers are great. Those 3 teams, and then you throw Miami in there. Come on, man. We're talking about cross-country enthusiasm and involvement. So for New York and the Boston Celtics to be handling their business, what a great Eastern Conference Finals that would be. And so I'm going for the Knicks in 7. It'll be great, but they've been tested by Philly. And even that test was kind of skewed because it wasn't a healthy Embiid. So I wonder how that would have gone with a healthy Embiid. But hey, it is what it is. Knicks versus Pacers. Knicks got to do a better job of defending their home court because the Pacers are definitely saying, I don't care where you're at. We're coming. For all those same reasons you laid out. They said we're coming. I picked the Knicks also because they have home court advantage.
We got 2 other series to get to before we wrap it up. We got Boston and Cleveland. And then OKC we talked about briefly, but they're going up against Dallas, and they play tonight for their first game. So what's your take on those other series? Who are you calling? Who are you picking?
Boston in 5. Nothing much to talk about that. I from a selfish reason, Boston is probably the best team in the East, probably the best team in the country. But I do want Cleveland to fill out because I'd love to see if we can get Donovan Mitchell. That's this, let's just go ahead and create some controversy in Cleveland. And if we get Donovan Mitchell, Donovan and AD for the next 5 years can do something, let LeBron go ahead and retire. So I need them to underperform so he gets frustrated. So, I'm going to go to LA. So that's that series. Whew, man, OKC. Because I fall victim to what I shared earlier, I haven't watched OKC at all this whole season because it's OKC. The last time OKC in my mind was relevant, they had a kid named Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, I think Siakam, Harden coming off the bench, and they got skull drugged by Miami. That's the last time I even felt OKC was even halfway relevant. So to understand those jokers are the number 1 seed, and watching what Minnesota did as the number 3, whoa. I'm interested. They got my attention. Because of their seeding, I will give them the nod. But Luka Doncic and Kyrie, I'm not going to sleep on them. I'm not going to sleep on those. Those are championship pedigree players. And Kyrie is a champion. So it'll be interesting. But because of seeding, I'm almost led to say OKC. I just haven't watched them. Is the moment, same question I had about Minnesota. Is the moment too big for them? You do have a coach of the year. So you want to believe that what has happened for those 82 games meant something? The same thing if those 82 games and being the number one defense for Minnesota meant something. So because of that, stats don't lie, ball don't lie. OKC wins it in 6.
Whoa, okay. Boston in 4. I believe Miami woke them up. Don't take them light. Yeah, Cleveland is a heck of a lot better than Miami, but Boston is that good. And this is without Kristaps Porzingis. They don't need him. Let him rest up. Let him get ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston is deep. They're good. They have been tested, man, over the last few years. And our producer is a Boston fan, and I remember 2 years ago he said, "Man, get rid of one of them, whether it's Brown or Tatum." And look at now. I want to hear what he has to say now. He's been kind of quiet since we got started. I ain't heard nothing from him.
I still think
Look
they
at
need
him.
to get rid of one of them.
I'm picking Boston in 4. Cleveland is going to do well at home because role players do well at home, but not enough. I think it's going to be Boston in 4. OKC and Dallas. Since those acquisitions in middle of the season for Dallas, they're not really a 4th seed in my opinion. But are they better than Denver? I think so. I think Dallas is better than Denver. Are they better than OKC? They're probably on par. These two this is going to be a good series. Why? Because Luka Doncic, is that guy. He's that dude. He can control the pace of the game. He can get a triple-double, but nobody can stop him, whether it's outside or inside. The only person that can stop Doncic, how do you pronounce his last name? Luka. The only person that can stop Luka is Luka. I wish he didn't cry as much as he does. That way I would be more of a fan of him, but he cries too much. Matter of fact, most of these NBA players, they cry, but he's excessive with it. But Kyrie Irving, resurgence, reborn, I don't know what you want to call it. Man, inside, outside, dribble, handle, pass, even playing defense. Luka playing defense. Gafford in the middle. Lob threat. Defense. Likely in the middle. Rookie. Lob threat. Defense. Wow. I say all that, and I haven't mentioned OKC yet because I don't believe in them. I believe the light will be too bright. But I could be wrong because I don't know enough about them. I've watched just about every one of their games, but they don't convince me like I am convinced of Dallas. So, having said that, 7-game series, maybe 6, but I'm picking Dallas in OKC over OKC.
Wow. Okay. I like it. Steve, I hope you're tracking. We split on all our picks, minus the Boston. You got to tell me what do you see Minnesota sweep or how what's this series look like?
Man, I'm picking Minnesota. Is Denver that bad or is Minnesota that good to sweep them? Those first 2 games, is that enough of a sample size? And I'm talking and thinking out loud. Woo!
And it was in Denver.
Man.
What mile high? What altitude issue? They were in Denver.
Denver's got to win one. They have got to win one. Reigning champs have got to win one. They got to.
Are you saying that to convince yourself? Are you saying that to convince yourself, or are you saying because you believe it?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It sounds good. Minnesota in 5. Minnesota. It's not going 7. Minnesota in 5 because Denver's got to win one. I want to congratulate Tyrese Maxey for most improved. Gobert on his birth of his child, but winning Defensive Player of the Year. That to me it means a lot. I know you guys have done well. What else am I missing? You said Coach of the Year goes to OKC. Is that the Coach of the Year? I did not know that. I did not know that. And the Sixth Man of the Year went to Reed. Is that correct for Minnesota?
I don't know. I didn't catch that one.
And so, congratulations to the winners thus far. Who is going to be the MVP? Who is going to be the MVP? And in my humble opinion, Jokic is going to be the MVP. It'll be his third one.
Wow.
Ant-Man's on the rise. Ant-Man is coming.
Wow. Dang, Joker. I mean, obviously we had 12 games at least to watch him whip our ass. So if that's not enough sample size to see if he's worthy of getting MVP, but I start asking myself, who else could? If not him, who? Let's say Ant-Man. Does Jalen get considered? Jalen Brunson? Probably not. Like, who else stands out? Luka? Is it, it's rough, right? What about Tatum? I mean, I haven't heard of, are we dismissing what's happening in the East? Is it that runaway? Is he that good where it's like, look, it's automatic? He is the LeBron of MVPs now. Like, I could see him getting it. I'm just like, wow, who would be number two?
Yeah. Jokic, even with the 2 games he's had against Minnesota, if you were to throw that in the mix, what he did against us in the first round and even now in the second round, he's still putting up numbers, but they don't count the postseason. Obviously, it's just what he's done in the season. It was close with Luka. It was, but the Joker, he stood out, and it should not be. Will it be unanimous? Is the question. No, it won't be unanimous, but he should be the MVP. He should have won it last year.
Wow. Who did win it last year?
Well, Embiid.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover, and I had fun chopping it up with my nephew here. And we even heard from our producer today, y'all. So I'm going to let you know, y'all need to save this tape. This was a treat because nobody hears from him, okay? We don't even hear from him. He just cusses us out because we ran overtime. We had a lot to say today. And he even gave us some nuggets. But we just have fun. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen, to chime in and hear us. We definitely want to hear what you have to say. We want to know how excited you are about your NBA team. Heck, we got hockey going on. What's going on in the hockey world for y'all? Caitlin Clark is about to kick off in the WNBA. Man, are you tuning in? Look what she's doing around the WNBA league. They're changing venues because she's selling out at various places, and they're preparing for sellout crowds. Wow, for the WNBA. And we talked about that before. But thank you, fans. Thank you for listening and taking the time out to listen to a couple old jokers like us just chop it up and talk sports. We love you. Hope to see you next week. And I'm Dr. Tim, and I'm out.
Hey, team, we have left a lot of meat on this bone today. Y'all can chew for a feast better than Thanksgiving. There's so much left that we're going to have to continue this discussion next week. But we had fun. So you got extra tape. I know you got extra footage today. And probably a couple of bloopers too. We don't know when Steve started recording. But I will tell you all this. We had a great time. It is NBA fantastic time. We didn't even talk about our Dodgers because you watching what Ohtani's doing. It's just a whole nother beast out there. And so as we close out today, a special shout out to those ladies out there as we come into a great weekend to celebrate you. Happy Mother's Day, mothers. And happy Mother's Day, women who hold down the fort and occupy the role of mother in the lives of so much these children. And thank you so much for your life, your love, and your affection, your guidance and wisdom. Happy Mother's Day to you all. I'm Dr. C. Victor Herman III. Take it to the house. See y'all next week.